Hello my Scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me for a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. I started this layout by creating a mixed media background using the Nuvo sprays that came in the mixed media kit. They are three beautiful colours and I utilised those with this little paintbrush. And I started one colour at a time. So I did the orange colour first and just kind of painted it on, let it dry. Then I added the pink and then I finally went in with the teal. After that was all dry, I pulled out my Vicki Boutin stencil and my glitter pastes. So they are the Bow Bunny glitter pastes in blush and in rose gold, I think it was called. Let me double check. Yep, rose gold. And I popped those through the Vicki Boutin stencil that is the paint shop stencil. And it's the first one with the little love hearts using my Nuvo spatula. Now those Nuvo sprays, their specific colours are called Oriental Fuchsia, is that pink colour. Pecan Peach is that orangey colour. And Beryl Swirl, Beryl Swirl, is that tealy colour. And they are just beautiful. There is such a gorgeous shimmer to those. So I created that background. My paper did warp quite a bit because it was quite a wet background. So I did iron it. I literally pulled out the iron and flipped it over and ironed it through on the back, which is just a really nice way to sort of flatten out any of that warping that happens with the paper, especially when you use thin paper. I was using super thin paper for this because I wasn't 100% sure I would like the way the layout came out and I didn't want to waste a good piece of paper. Once that was all done, I created this little paw cut file in myself and a stitching file and did chain stitch all the way around that. Used my ATG to add the initial glue and then sticky taped the backing piece of paper to the back of the paper, if that makes sense. Now, this isn't an original idea from me. This was originally done by a lady called Elsie Robinson, who was part of the Paige Evans design team back in 2020. And she created this absolutely beautiful layout using this big gigantic paw that she stitched with white stitching. Now, hers is a little bit different, but the general idea of the layout is 100% scrap lifted from her because her original idea was just amazing. I just really loved that gigantic paw in the background and I loved the stitching around it, and I loved the butterflies that she used on her layout. So I definitely got inspired and scrap lifted quite a lot of the basic design elements and the design idea from Elsie Robinson, but obviously our layouts aren't exactly the same because I then created mine in the way that I wanted to create and made my mixed media background and used multiple photos and added a lot more florals and all of that kind of thing. But yes, I just wanted to shout out to Elsie for providing that inspiration because it was chef's kiss. So now that I have stuck all the background on, stuck on my photos, I am playing around with the embellishments. I knew I definitely wanted to put the butterflies on because Elsie did that and they looked incredible and I absolutely wanted to mimic that as well. And I knew I wanted to use the beautiful floral clusters that came in the flower pack. Obviously, I could have made my own floral clusters, but these ones were pretty perfect, so why ruin a good thing? You will have noticed that I also took two of the other floral clusters, the one that came in the cone and the one that came in the envelope, and I cut the envelope off and I cut the cone off and I just kept the floral. For me, that just worked better with this particular layout because I kind of wanted just the florally bits to be poking out from the toes or the paw print, and I think that worked really well. I kind of tried to cover the uncomfortable bit where it joined up using the butterfly there just to sort of cover up the seam between where the flower joins in with the paper of the paw. Then I am adding on some stars. I knew I wanted something else to go with this layout, but I didn't feel like the enamel dots were quite right and I didn't quite want the sequins on this layout. I do use those on other projects throughout the month, but I decided to pull quite a bunch of the little silvery stars. I thought that worked as well because I loved the shininess of the silver, and I thought that tied in really well with the shininess of that mixed media paper that I've got going on in the background. Then it was time to have a play with a title, and then I realized that I put my 2 little stars exactly where I'd planned to put a title. So I'm going to move those little stars. I did have a look at the thicker sheet that we got in this month's kit, but I just felt the colors were going to get lost, and I really wanted to tie in that black stitching, so I went with a black thicker that just says totally Roarsome, because that's what Addie's doing in the photo. Katie said to Addie, what sound does a tiger make? And that's Addie going, rah! She's just so cute. And she's even got a little hand out too. Gosh, she's gorgeous. So yeah, that is this layout. I hope you have enjoyed this process video. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you all again later on this month for another layout. I cannot wait to join you then. Bye everybody. Happy scrapping.